Colonel Edward D. Baker was crossing the Potomac with his Pennsylvania regiment. Baker was someone special, not only a colonel, but a full-fledged senator, a one-time Illinois lawyer and intimate friend of Abraham Lincoln, whose second son had been named after him. Veteran of the Mexican War and the California Gold Rush, in 1860 he had moved to Oregon at the invitation of the people, who promptly elected him to the U.S. Senate. There, he became the administration's chief far western spokesman, riding in the presidential carriage on Inauguration Day and introducing Lincoln for the inaugural address. He welcomed the nation's angry reaction to Sumter. "I want a sudden, bold, forward, determined war," he told the Senate, and personally raised a Philadelphia regiment. He did not resign his Senate seat, however, and would not accept a major general's commission from his friend, the commander-in-chief, since, by law, this would have required his resignation from Congress. From time to time he would return from the field, appearing in full uniform on the floor of the Senate, where he would unbuckle his sword, lay it across his desktop, and launch an oratorical attack upon those of his fellow lawmakers who appeared to favor any compromise with secession. At 50, he was clean-shaven and handsome, with a high forehead and a fondness for declaring poetry. "Press where ye see my white plume shine amidst the ranks of war," he quoted as he took the field. Now, on this October 21st, coming up upon what's called Ball's Bluff with his Pennsylvanians, he was happy to be where the bullets were flying. "I congratulate you, sir, on the prospect of battle," he told the Massachusetts colonel, shaking his hands as he assumed command. In point of fact, it was more than a prospect. He had a battle on his hands already, as he soon found out. He had managed to get 2 guns across the river, and now he put them into action, shelling the brush from which the rebel sniping was getting more vicious all the time. Then he went back to the lip of the bluff and, peering down, saw a New York outfit known as the Tammany Regiment trolling up the cowpath. This would make a total of 4 Union regiments on the field. Baker felt confident and expansive. Spotting the colonel at the head of the climbing column, he waved gallantly and greeted him with a quotation from The Lady of the Lake. "One blast upon your bugle horn is worth 1,000 men." Reaching the top of the bluff, the New York colonel, a West Pointer, and the only professional soldier on the field in charge of lawyers and politicians, was amazed to find Baker so confident and buoyant over a situation in which, to the military eye at any rate, the danger in the front was exceeded only by the confusion in the rear. The Confederates, holding high ground beyond the brush and timber where their snipers were picking off men in the glade almost at will, obviously were building up to launch an attack, where the Federals, backed up to the rim of a steep drop with an unfordable river 100 feet below, were doing little more than dodging bullets and listening to their senator colonel sing out quotations from Walter Scott. About this time, one of the 2 guns recoiled sharply and toppled backwards off the bluff. The other was already silent. Its cannoneers dropped or were driven away by snipers. It seemed to the New Yorker that the events were swiftly moving towards disaster. Suddenly, Baker seemed to realize it too. He hurried along the wavering line, calling for his soldiers to stand fast. Perhaps he had some counter-movement in mind. If so, no one ever learned it. For just then, by the way of climax, he, who had called for a sudden, bold, forward, determined war, received it in the form of a bullet through the brain, which left him not even time for a dying quotation. When the death of Ned Baker came over the wire, Lincoln sat for 5 minutes, stunned, then made his way unaccompanied through the anteroom, breast heaving, tears streaming down his cheeks. As he stepped out onto the street, he stumbled, groping blindly, and almost fell. Orderlies and newspapermen jumped to help him, but he recovered his balance and went on alone, leaving them the memory of a weeping president.